My name is Matt Nelsen. I'm a research scientist at the Field Museum of Natural History, which is in Chicago. I'm interested in studying the evolution of interactions between different groups of organisms over time. I'm especially interested in fungi and a particular type of fungi that form partnerships with photosynthetic algae and bacteria. My day-to-day routine, it varies quite a bit. A lot of the times I'm typically reading papers, trying to write papers, analyze data. Some days I'll be working with specimens, I'll be working with lichens that I collected in different parts of the world, and I'll be preparing them for DNA sequencing. Occasionally I'm able to go out to very exotic places around the world and do field collecting, which is something that I get very excited about. I think my first kind of interest in nature came as a kid. I grew up in the countryside and we would find all sorts of different critters running around outside. We liked to collect butterflies a lot. We'd find walking sticks, we'd find salamanders, all sorts of really cool organisms. And so I think that really kind of started my interest in biology and trying to understand the natural world around us. But then in college, I took a course on fungi, and that was kind of game over for me. The fungi are just very unique and strange and do very unusual things compared to what a lot of other organisms do, and that just kind of blew my mind. For me, what I find fascinating about it is that there's just so many different interactions between these different groups of organisms that are out there, and so much of it is kind of hidden or cryptic initially, but as we start to dig, we start to find the different ways that these things are interacting. It's kind of that sort of age-old saying about, if you answer one question, you end up having a whole set of other questions, and that's completely true in biology as well, where we find something very intriguing and we might be able to start to provide insight into it, but it raises a whole set of other questions, and just the depth the complexity these organisms have. It's just fascinating. It's like we're trying to solve the mystery, basically. I hope what the young readers will gain from this chapter is that they'll get a better understanding of how complex and just fascinating the world around us is, and all the different unique ways these organisms have to deal with some of the challenges or problems that they face. Many of these organisms, just kind of at first glance, you might think, oh, that looks kind of boring. Yeah, that's just a leaf or something like that. But once you start looking more closely at it and learning more about it, you find out that the leaf is actually very complicated, beautiful structure that has a really fascinating story to tell, and that scientists have been trying to understand for a long time. And I think this book is a really nice way to kind of share these different fascinating stories.